I'm doing a quick video because people don't seem to understand how these cards work. So, this is the new artifact deck, and they have some peculiar chains, I guess. So, let's say you have two artifacts set, and you have an artifact Sanctum and an artifact Ignition. These don't matter. So, you activate your Sanctum. If your opponent has no response, you special summon Beagle Talk from your deck. At this point, Sanctum has finished resolving. You activate Beagle Talk's effect, which does not target. So you activate the effect if your opponent has no response. Let's say you obviously want to destroy these two because they're your two artifacts. So you go ahead and destroy them. At this point, they get sent to the graveyard, and they start a new chain in the graveyard to summon themselves. So both effects are mandatory. That means that you as turn player can set how they resolve in the chain. So obviously I want to draw off Caduceus. So I want to make Moral Talk Chainlink 1, Caduceus Chainlink 2. So you resolve Caduceus, special summon it, resolve Moral Talk, special summon it. At this point, both of these artifacts have yet another effect that activates in yet another new chain. So you special summon an artifact, so Caduceus' effect activates to draw a card. Also, you can activate the optional effect of Moral Talk to destroy a face-up card your opponent controls. If you do this, Chainlink 1 will be Caduceus because he's mandatory. Chainlink 2 will be Moral Talk because he's optional. Because of this, let's assume that one of the cards your opponent has is a hand. Hands miss timing. That means if the last thing to happen on the chain isn't the destruction of the hand, you can't activate the hand's effect. So, back to the same link we had. Chainlink 1 Caduceus, Chainlink 2 Moral Talk. You resolve that chain. Chainlink 2 will destroy the hand, at which point the hand can't activate, and Chainlink 1, the Moral Talk, or the Caduceus will let you draw a card. Pretty simple, right? What you can't do is, let's say your opponent has a set card, and you have an ice hand, and they have a monster. You crash your ice hand into their monster, and target this card for destruction. Now, upon the resolution of this chain, your ice hand will destroy this card, and special summon Fire Hand from your deck. Now, this doesn't cause any timing issues. If you noticed, the Fire Hand was destroyed by battle, so it wasn't or the Ice Hand was destroyed by battle, so it wasn't destroyed as Chainlink 2 or higher. Therefore, your hands cannot miss timing. The other possible thing that can make hands miss timing is when an effect activates that has two parts of the effect, sort of like Soul Taker. You destroy the targeted monster, and then your opponent gains 1,000 life points. Or, Raikou is a common example as well. You target a monster, destroy it, and then as a completely separate effect, you send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard. So keep these things in mind when trying to make hands miss timing. The other thing to note is that Artifact Ignition, let's say you have, let me get cards here. You have, that's not a spell or trap. Alright. You have 5 spells and traps, right? And one of them is an Artifact Ignition. To be able to activate Artifact Ignition, you must be able to also set an artifact from your deck. This means that if you have 5 set cards and you wish to activate Artifact Ignition, the only legal target for Artifact Ignition is a card you control. That means that you have to destroy something on your side of the field. However, if you have an empty slot for the artifact to be set, you can target a card your opponent controls. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please ask them in the comments.